Rumors spread around the school that the little gangster girl had a chaotic personal life. She had aborted 5 times, which led to her being unable to get pregnant for life. They also said she had contracted HIV. I crossed over into this world, but decisively rejected the confession of the pure school beauty. I chose to be with the little gangster girl, and I proudly gave her 999 roses because I knew that the rumor about the little gangster girl having HIV was not just a rumor. It was true. Chapter 1. My son, Pablo Wong, actually confessed to a little gangster girl in public, disgracing the Wong family's reputation. "You scoundrel, just wait until I beat you to death." As soon as I entered the house, my father, holding a baseball bat, came swinging at me. I easily dodged, and the bat smashed into a large porcelain vase next to the door. The huge vase shattered into pieces instantly. I narrowed my eyes, realizing this old man was truly trying to kill me. If that bat had hit me, I'd either be dead or suffering a severe concussion. Of course, I knew exactly why this old man was so angry. Today, I, the true young master of the Wong family, not only rejected the love confession of the Liu family's eldest daughter, but also gave 999 roses to confess to a notorious little gangster girl. I publicly declared that I would only marry this little gangster girl for the rest of my life. At this moment, the entire rich circle of society must be laughing at the Wong family. They must have listed me as the opposite example to educate their young heirs. Chapter 2. This was a novel I had just read. I never expected that after I had just cursed it out, the next moment I would be transported into the story. The original owner was the true young master of the Wong family. He had grown up in an orphanage and was only brought back by the Wong family 3 years ago. The original owner longed for the warmth of a family and had always tried to fit in with this family. He had tried his best to please them, utterly humble, but all he received was disdain and hatred from his family. The fake young master was even more disgusting, a pretentious coquette. He was afraid that the true young master would take his position in the family and inherit the Wong family's billions, so he used all kinds of slanders and schemes. On the first day the original owner returned home, the fake young master falsely accused him of pushing him down the stairs. He also stole the intimate underwear of the 2 sisters and secretly hid them in the original owner's room. Then he framed the original owner. This led the parents to despise him even more. The 2 sisters also cursed him as a pervert, hoping he would leave quickly. In fact, they wished he would die outside. The original owner suffered abuse every day at home, either beaten or scolded. The original owner was a good-for-nothing. Although he had a wise grandfather who secretly gave him 50 million and a villa before passing away, the original owner insisted on staying in this family, hoping that one day his parents and sisters would see the truth and accept him. The fake young master, seeing how pitiful the original owner was, became more arrogant. If the original owner liked something, he would find a way to take it away, including women. For the past 3 years, the original owner had 2 female classmates he was close with, and without exception, they were drugged and taken to bed by the fake young master. Until the pure school beauty, Willow, confessed. The original owner thought he had found true love and cherished it deeply, spending every day with her. Because of Willow, the original owner's position in the Wong family improved significantly. But in the end, the fake young master used underhanded means to take her away. Willow, unable to bear the humiliation, jumped off a building and committed suicide. To protect the fake young master, the Wong family immediately came forward and blamed everything on the original owner. The original owner was sent to prison and tortured to death. Meanwhile, the fake young master became the male protagonist of a trash novel. Not only did he inherit the Wong family's billions, but he also took both of the beautiful sisters into his harem. After reading this, I jumped up in fury and cursed. What kind of idiot wrote this crap? Since I've been transported here, I'm going to play along with these people. Today, I publicly rejected Willow's confession. Although she seemed heartbroken, it was just part of our act. The fake young master loves to steal from me, right? I wonder if the little gangster girl with HIV would catch his fancy. Chapter 3. My eldest sister, Sophia, glared at me and said, "George, you're truly a little bastard. You've completely ruined the Wong family's reputation." My second sister, Alicia, cursed loudly. "You disgraceful piece of crap. We should never have brought you back. It would have been better if you had just died out there." Even my mother, Mrs. Wong, looked at me with disappointment. George, you've really let me down. Why can't you be like Makoto and make things easier for us? Why must you tarnish the Wong family's name? Sophia tried to grab Mrs. Wong's arm. Mom, why waste time talking to this little bastard? Either he cuts ties with that little gangster girl, whatever her name is, Maria, or he cuts ties with us. He should get out of the Wong family. Mrs. Wong's eyes burned with anger. I stubbornly met their gaze and retorted, what chaotic personal life? Those are just rumors from outside. I'll never break up with Maria, even if I die. Alicia's face darkened, her voice cold. Then we'll force you until you agree to it. The fake young master, Makoto's, tears fell with a plop. It's all my fault. I didn't take care of my brother at school, and that's why he acted so recklessly and did things that disgraced the Wong family. Mrs. Wong immediately pulled him into her arms with a look of sympathy. Makoto, how can you blame yourself for this? You're so kind and understanding. If George had just 1/10 of your goodness, we wouldn't treat him like this. Pablo was shaking with rage, waving the baseball bat at me again. Smack! I raised my hand and firmly grabbed the bat, then kicked Pablo away. Are you done yet? Am I giving you face? Shocked, the Wong family stared at me as if they had seen a ghost. Makoto, the fake young master, opened his mouth in disbelief. The George who used to be humble and cowardly, lower than a dog in the family hierarchy, actually dared to lay a hand on his father. Mrs. Wong rushed over to help the groaning Pablo to his feet. She glared at me, her eyes full of fury. You ungrateful son. You've gone mad. Pablo was enraged but didn't dare approach me again. You bastard. How dare you hit even me? You're completely out of control. I looked at them and laughed loudly, saying, I'm your own son. If I'm a bastard, then what does that make you? You. Pablo clutched his chest, so angry that he couldn't speak for a long time. Chapter 4. My eldest sister, Sophia, cursed loudly. Of course you're from the countryside. You ungrateful wolf. You filthy scum. My second sister, with darkness in her eyes, said, It seems we were too kind to him, which is why he ended up beating our father and doing such an immoral, rebellious thing. How can this scum be worthy of being my brother? I slammed the baseball bat onto the glass coffee table. The table shattered into pieces, and glass shards flew everywhere. The Wong family gasped in unison. I grinned, furious. Too kind to me, huh? I took off my clothes, revealing my body covered in bruises, and cursed. You scoundrels! Open your damn eyes and look. Do I have a single good piece of flesh on me? For the 3 years you brought me back, it's been nothing but beatings and insults. I've been living worse than a dog. If I don't fight back, you think I'll survive today without being beaten to death by you? Unexpectedly, instead of feeling any remorse after seeing my battered body, the Wong family looked at me as if it was all deserved. Sophia frowned and said, George, if you hadn't believed Makoto and done those filthy things to us, would we have treated you like this? Alicia ground her teeth and agreed. Exactly. You, a country bumpkin, have no manners. You deserve to be taught a lesson. I sneered and said, You beat your own brother, your own son, to death. I've been eating leftovers and wearing the discarded clothes of the fake young master. You locked me in the basement at will. Is this the so-called upbringing of the Wong family? I wonder what others will think of the Wong family's excellent upbringing once they find out. You. Alicia was so angry that her face turned pale, her chest heaving violently. You say I believe Makoto? Where's the proof? Those private clothes of yours, they were always found by Makoto. How could it not be him framing me? You're truly despicable, shameless, and still trying to defend yourself. How could Makoto lie? Seeing me still deny everything, Sophia cursed again. Alicia harshly agreed. Exactly. Makoto is nothing like you, a filthy country bumpkin. He's so kind, he would never lie. Makoto's tears fell again. It's all my fault. I've taken my brother's identity for so many years. Please don't make things difficult for my brother anymore. I'll leave now. After all, my brother is your real son. Mrs. Wong quickly hugged him tightly and said, Makoto, what are you saying? I raised you myself. You're even closer than my own son. As long as I'm here in the Wong family, no one can drive my Makoto away. She glared at me again. George, you worthless piece of shit. Apologize to Makoto right now. Chapter 5. I quickly clapped my hands, smiling. Brilliant. a performer, and a bunch of idiots. This is truly a great show. You've said so much, but there's not a single piece of evidence, right? The Wong family fell into silence. Pablo threw the parental severance agreement at me and shouted angrily, "You stop making trouble here. Let me make it clear today. Either you break up with that little gangster girl, or you sign this agreement and get out of the Wong family. Otherwise," I mocked him. "Otherwise what? Are you going to kill me? If you want to kill me, come at me. I guarantee that before you kill me, I'll make sure to deal with Makoto, that fake bastard." Makoto was startled and quickly hid behind Mrs. Wong. The others, seeing me holding the baseball bat and acting fearless, couldn't help but take a step back. They felt I was indeed different from before, and it made them uncomfortable. I continued, "You want me to sign? I'm not signing. I'm going to expose everything online. You've been abusing your own son. If I'm not going to live well, neither will you or the Wong family. You ungrateful son." Pablo clutched his chest, almost spitting blood from the anger. Seeing the atmosphere had been set just right, I turned the conversation around. "Actually, severing ties isn't out of the question. But you'll need to give me 20 million to buy out our blood relationship. Maybe then I'll consider it." Sophia was furious. 20 million? You really have the guts to say that? You're such a bastard. So this is your true face now, isn't it? I casually replied, "If you're not willing, fine. Later, I'll go live and show all these injuries to the netizens. I'll play the victim. Let everyone see the so-called education of the Wong family." This was not something a wealthy young master would do. It was utterly shameless. Alicia, enraged, shouted, "You little bastard. Are you daring to do this? Aren't you afraid we'll expose all the dirty things you've done and ruin your reputation?" "I don't care. You have no evidence anyway. The injuries on my body are real. When you're barefoot, you don't fear shoes. What's there to be afraid of? If I'm ruined, won't the Wong family's reputation also be damaged?" Alicia wanted to say more, but Pablo stopped her. If I really went live and played the victim, even if they came out to criticize me, it would still hurt them more than it hurt me. It would be a lose-lose situation. At that point, Wong family stocks would inevitably take a huge hit, and the loss wouldn't be limited to just 20 million. 20 million might be a huge amount for an ordinary family, but for the Wong family, it wasn't that much. Pablo made a quick decision. "I'll have the finance department transfer 20 million to you right now, but you better sign and get out immediately." Chapter 6. Half an hour later, I saw that the 20 million had been transferred to my account, so I didn't waste any more words and signed the agreement decisively. "All right, all you gods of wealth, it's time to say goodbye. Perhaps we'll never meet again." Just as I was about to leave, I turned to Makoto and said, "Idiot, next time you frame me, try to do it more discreetly. You coming in and out of my room and my sister's rooms was all caught on camera. You've been scheming to frame me and get me kicked out of the house just so you can take over the Wong family's billions, haven't you? Also, these two sisters aren't even related to you by blood. Using a few tricks to get them into bed is easy, and if that doesn't work, just drug them. Isn't that what you're best at?" I glanced at my biological parents and these two idiots. If you can get rid of them, do it sooner rather than later. If their dirty little secrets come out, don't you think you'll be torn to pieces? What nonsense are you talking about?" Makoto's face turned pale, and his eyes were filled with panic. "Nonsense? I didn't try to kick you out or frame you. You don't say such things. Idiot, I'm just kindly reminding you. What's there to be afraid of if you didn't do it? Haha. Hurry up and find a time to delete the surveillance footage. A bunch of idiots, goodbye." With that, I grabbed the baseball bat and smashed another large porcelain vase to pieces before striding out of the Wong family's mansion. Chapter 7. Long after I left, the Wong family villa remained deathly silent. Everyone in the Wong family looked at the fake young master with a scrutinizing gaze. Makoto immediately turned on the theatrics, kneeling on the floor and repeatedly knocking his head, and I mean truly knocking his head. Thud, thud, thud. Blood began to seep from his forehead, staining the marble floor red. "Dad, Mom, sisters, I know my brother is holding a grudge and deliberately sowing discord between us. If you don't believe me, I'll leave now and never show up in front of you again. During the time I'm gone, you have to take care of yourselves. Don't miss me. Boo-hoo." As he spoke, his tears mixed with blood and dripped onto the floor. He took 3 steps, then turned back to look at them, truly looking pitiful and heart-wrenching. Mrs. Wong's heart immediately broke, and she rushed to embrace Makoto, crying out, "My dear, are you trying to kill me? If any of you believe that little bastard's nonsense, I'll leave with Makoto." Chapter 8. The next day, I drove my sports car recklessly around the campus, almost running into Makoto. "Are you looking to die?" Makoto staggered back 2 steps, his face pale as he cursed loudly. I slowly rolled down the car window, showing him a provocative smile. At that moment, Maria, who was in the passenger seat, elegantly opened the door and stepped out. Sunlight shimmered on her newly dyed brown curly hair, casting a charming glow. Makoto's expression immediately froze, his mouth hanging open like a fool standing still. Classmates passing by stopped in their tracks, whispering to each other, "Is that Maria? Oh my God, I barely recognize her." Other students also looked at Maria with expressions as if they had seen a ghost. Indeed, it's true that a person's appearance can be transformed with the right clothes and accessories. Maria already had a pretty good foundation. Even when she used to dress poorly and didn't know how to style herself, plenty of people still wanted to sleep with her. I had hired a professional makeup artist to do her makeup, combined with high-end brand clothes. Now she looked both pure and seductive. Her big, sparkling eyes truly captivated hearts and souls, mesmerizing anyone who looked at her. I got out of the car and walked up to Maria, wrapping my arm around her slender waist, my gaze full of pride. "Hey, isn't this my little green tea brother? Aren't you going to greet your sister-in-law?" Unexpectedly, Makoto quickly adjusted his expression and forced a fake smile. "Hello, sister-in-law." But his gaze was glued to Maria's almost exposed assets. His Adam's apple unconsciously bobbed. Maria seemed to enjoy the attention, intentionally flicking her hair, making her curves even more apparent. I gave her a light smack on her shapely rear. "Baby, go to class. I'll come find you after class, okay?" "Hubby, don't forget to miss me," she responded in a voice so sweet it was almost sickening, and as she left, she threw a seductive glance at Makoto and swayed her hips gracefully. I struggled to suppress my disgust, nodding stiffly, almost throwing up the breakfast I had just eaten. After Maria left, I suddenly grabbed Makoto by the collar and yanked him toward me, warning him viciously, "Makoto, stop with that ill-intentioned gaze. It was bad enough when you stole my women, but if you dare to lay a hand on Maria, I won't let you get away with it." Makoto shoved my hand away, straightened his collar, and sneered, "You don't know how messy Maria's private life is, do you? She's involved with so many men. Don't you feel disgusted sleeping with her?" I punched him in the face with all my strength. Makoto staggered back and fell to the ground. "What the hell? Are you crazy?" I mounted him, landing several more punches. I stared at him with bloodshot eyes and lowered my voice. "Last night," I grabbed his hair and forced him to look up, speaking slowly and clearly. "It was her first time. If I ever hear you spread rumors again, it won't be just a beating next time. Remember, she's my woman now." With that, I turned and walked toward the teaching building. Makoto wiped the blood from his mouth, his eyes filled with malice. I could hear him grinding his teeth behind me. "As long as Makoto, want something, I always get it, including your 2 beautiful sisters. They won't be able to escape my grasp." "Very well." I immediately saved the recording. Chapter 9. As soon as I entered the teaching building and passed a secluded corner, I was suddenly tightly embraced by a soft, delicate body. "George, do you really think Makoto will fall for this?" I turned and embraced her as well, my right hand gently stroking her smooth hair. "Willow, he definitely will. No one knows him better than I do. Do you remember that girl from freshman year who sang so beautifully, Lisa? Once she was surrounded by a group of thugs off campus, and I helped her get away. She said I looked just like her brother who drowned while trying to save someone and insisted on calling me her brother. I couldn't bear to refuse, so I agreed. She was just a little closer to me, but then that bastard Makoto drugged and defiled her. Now she's gone crazy and has been locked up in a psychiatric hospital. Makoto is a venomous snake. I'll never let you get hurt, and I won't let him off easily. Have someone watch Makoto's every move for me. He'll definitely take the bait." Willow kissed me gently on the cheek and said, "Okay, I'll do as you say." For the next while, Maria and I walked around campus arm in arm, sending lavish gifts publicly. Everyone thought I was completely in love with Maria. Under my careful packaging, Maria no longer resembled the little gangster girl. She looked refined, stylish, sexy, and seductive. She captivated all the pure college students around her. Makoto, unsurprisingly, never took his eyes off Maria whenever he saw us. I had warned Maria she could sleep with any man, but not Makoto. If I found out, I would not only take back every gift I gave her, but I would break one of her legs. Makoto had tried to flirt with her many times in private, but each time he failed. I knew that his desire to win had been thoroughly ignited. This fool never had much of a brain to begin with. Now he had none left. Chapter 10. In this time, web novels weren't popular yet, and I was at home writing my novel, Rebirth. Willow called me. George, Maria ran into Makoto at Muse Bar, and Makoto drugged her drink. I smirked. He couldn't hold off any longer. Did you get it on film? Yes, we got it. Good. Keep monitoring them. Once they head to the hotel, contact the reporters and the police immediately. I'll take care of things with the Wong family, and we'll go catch them in the act together. Half an hour later, I used an unknown number to send a message to Mrs. Wong, who doted on Makoto. Makoto has been drugged and taken to room 1808 at the Jasmine Hotel. Come quickly. Mrs. Wong was terrified when she received the message. Every time Makoto went out, she would warn him. The women these days are dangerous. You, as a boy, must protect yourself outside. She tried calling Makoto, but at this moment, Makoto had no time to pick up, and he hung up on her directly. Mrs. Wong panicked. She called everyone in the Wong family urgently, notifying them to meet at the Jasmine Hotel. By the time the Wong family arrived, a large group of reporters had already gathered. Mrs. Wong, upon seeing the reporters, looked pleased and hurriedly grabbed one of them, saying, "Please follow me to room 1808. My son has been drugged and taken inside. Can you believe it? In broad daylight, under the open sky, someone dares to do such a despicable, beastly thing. My Makoto is still a child. I'll expose her and ruin her. She'll end up behind bars." Sophia's eyes were filled with malice. "Anyone who dares to lay a hand on my Makoto will pay." The reporters were all confused. Wasn't it supposed to be a female college student who was drugged and taken by the fake young master of the Wong family? Wasn't the script supposed to be different? Chapter 11. The hotel front desk saw such a large commotion and didn't dare to be careless, quickly calling the manager to come out. The manager, worried about a huge scandal, personally took the room key and led everyone to the room. However, when the manager opened the door, everyone from the Wong family was stunned. The scene inside was unbearable to look at. Makoto, in a crucial moment, saw everyone rush in, and the camera flashes went off non-stop with a click, click sound. He was so scared that his soul almost left his body, hurriedly covering his naked body with the blanket. The woman beside him had a dazed look in her eyes, her consciousness unclear, clearly drugged. Mrs. Wong's scream pierced through the sound of the camera flashes. "Makoto, what's going on? What happened?" Mrs. Wong's face instantly turned pale, her legs went weak, and she collapsed onto the floor. Sophia quickly helped her mother up, but was trembling with rage herself. This is impossible. How could Makoto? Pablo was furious and quickly grabbed the reporters. "Stop filming, all of you. Get out now." If this scene got exposed, not only would Makoto's life be ruined, but the Wong family's reputation would also be completely destroyed. But the reporters didn't listen to him at all. In his panic, Makoto grabbed a pillow and threw it at the camera. "Get out. All of you, get out." He turned to face his family at the door, their faces pale with fury, and his voice trembled with a sob. "Mom, I've been set up. I didn't drug her." Alicia screamed. "Dad, Mom, look. Isn't this woman that little gangster girl, Maria?" "Yes. It must be George's doing. George is really a bastard. He wants to ruin Makoto and destroy our Wong family." Makoto's eyes lit up when he heard this. Yes, that's it. The drug must have been put there by my brother. Maria kept begging me to help her with the antidote, and I was too soft-hearted, so I fell into their trap. Dad, Mom, you have to stand up for me. Chapter 12. Seeing the moment was right, I rushed into the room in a flash, grabbed Makoto, and began to beat him mercilessly. "You beast! You dare touch my girlfriend! I'll kill you!" The sound of slaps echoed nonstop. Slap, slap, slap. Makoto's face immediately swelled up like a pig's head. The entire room was stunned. When the Wong family reacted, they quickly came forward to pull me off. "George, you bastard! You drugged and framed Makoto, and now you dare lay hands on him." Sophia screamed and ran toward me to slap me, but I knocked her to the ground with one swift slap. "George, are you insane?" Pablo grabbed the back of my collar. Mrs. Wong rushed forward to pry my fingers off. Alicia kicked me with her high heels. I had already prepared for this and kicked her sharply on the shin. Alicia collapsed to the ground, tears streaming down her face. At that moment, a group of police officers rushed in, quickly separating us. Mrs. Wong immediately turned to the police for help. "Officer, George is a bastard. He drugged his own girlfriend and framed Armando. He even assaulted people just now. Everyone here can testify. You need to arrest this little bastard immediately." Pablo's eyes were cold. "Yes, officer, this matter must be handled seriously." Sophia, holding her swollen cheek, gritted her teeth and said, "We need to make sure he rots in jail." Chapter 13. I immediately squeezed out a few tears and cried out, "Officer, please, you have to stand up for me." I pointed at the Wong family and said, "These people, they are my biological parents and sisters. They kicked me out of the house for Makoto, their adopted son, and he drugged and defiled my girlfriend. Now they are teaming up to slander me. I don't want to live anymore." At these words, the entire room went into an uproar. The reporters' cameras flashed rapidly at the distorted faces of the Wong family. The Wong family's faces immediately turned ugly. Mrs. Wong staggered forward, her sharp nails almost aiming for my face. You liar. You ingrate. How could you be so malicious?" Sophia screamed, "Someone arrest this bastard. The evidence is all here. This little bastard framed Makoto. Why are you wasting time with him? Unfilial son, shut your mouth." Pablo, afraid I'd say more, grabbed a nearby vase and was about to smash it at me, but two police officers pinned him firmly against the wall. The head of the criminal police team said, "Everyone, quiet down." Everyone was startled, and the Wong family finally fell silent. From what I know, it was Makoto who drugged her, and we have solid evidence. These pieces of evidence weren't supposed to be shown publicly, but at this point, withholding them would only make things worse. The head of the criminal police team, weighing the pros and cons, decided to show the collected evidence on the hotel room's TV screen. The video clearly showed Makoto secretly following Maria into Mew's bar. Then, when Maria wasn't paying attention, he slipped drugs into her drink. The second part was a hotel surveillance video showing Makoto holding Maria and leading her to a hotel room. By then, Maria was unsteady on her feet, clearly already unconscious. The Wong family stood frozen. Makoto's face turned ashen, his eyes darting around. He was still desperately defending himself. This is fake. These two videos are AI generated. Dad, Mom, you have to believe me. Chapter 14. When Mrs. Wong saw Makoto crying, her heart shattered, and she lost all sense of reason. She hurriedly pulled Makoto into her arms and shouted loudly at the police. "Makoto is pure and kind. He would never do something like this. This video must be fake. George, you little bastard, is this your doing? You need to apologize to Makoto right now and admit to the police that it was you." Looked at Mrs. Wong in disbelief. Why is there such a mother in this world? Now that the evidence was irrefutable, she was still trying to pin the blame on her biological son to protect her adopted son. The reporters and the police all looked at me with sympathetic eyes. The other members of the Wong family were still confused. Sophia looked at Makoto in disbelief, then at her hysterical mother. She recalled the words I said after signing the severance agreement. Could it be that we really misunderstood George? Was everything really done by Makoto? Her heart felt like it was being tightly gripped, and she stumbled, nearly falling to the ground. Makoto was quickly restrained by the police, and he desperately shouted, "Dad, Mom, please believe me. This is all George's scheme." But he was still taken away by the police. "You little bastard. Did you set up Makoto? Otherwise, how could Makoto, so kind, have done such a thing?" Once the police left, Mrs. Wong lunged at me with a murderous look, but before she could reach me, I pushed her away with one hand. Damn it, a bunch of idiots. Being manipulated by a scumbag and not a single sane person in the family. Mrs. Wong fell to the ground, still trying to lunge at me, but Sophia grabbed her tightly. Mrs. Wong was forcibly dragged away. As they left, Pablo looked at me with a vicious glare. "George, if this has anything to do with you, I will never let you get away with it. Alicia glared at me, fuming. You little bastard. You must be feeling so proud of yourself now. How can you be so evil? I couldn't help but call her an idiot. She instantly exploded with rage, but Sophia dragged her out. As Sophia left, she looked at me with a very complicated expression. What the Wong family didn't know was that among the reporters, there was a millionaire influencer, and everything had just been live-streamed. The live stream had over 3 million viewers, quickly climbing the trending charts. The bullet comments were, "Holy crap, what is this twisted family drama? I thought this kind of plot only happened in novels, but reality is even more outrageous. Biological parents kicking their real son out for the adopted son. This adopted son is clearly a scumbag and a pretentious fake. Are the Wong family blind? Is this how wealthy families are? Drugging and raping with solid proof? Makoto is a scumbag. That mother hugging the adopted son made me want to puke. What kind of ultimate sim parents are these? Are they brainwashed by their adopted son? I don't get it. Is this scripted? How can parents be this stupid? The surveillance footage is solid proof, and they're still slandering their own son. How can people like this even exist? I feel so sorry for the real young master. Having a family like this is just tragic. Breaking news. Someone exposed that Makoto is a habitual rapist. Trending fourth. Ladies, check the site for Makoto drugs. The victim is not the only one. We must boycott all Wong family products and bankrupt their company. The Wong family's PR department resigned overnight. Who would want to do this dirty work? Sophia's look at the end was amazing. She's probably starting to wake up. After everyone left, Maria slowly came to her senses. I couldn't be bothered to deal with her and walked away. Chapter 15. The next day, I seized the opportunity and posted a long, accusatory article. I wrote about all the abuse and injustice I had suffered over the past 3 years. Tears flowed as I wrote, every word filled with anguish. I also attached the surveillance videos I had prepared earlier. Makoto framing me and the Wong family beating and insulting me. I posted everything online, including that recording. As long as I want something, I always get it, including your 2 beautiful sisters. There's no way they can escape my grasp. Since my blood relatives refused to repent, I had no qualms about exposing everything to the internet. After the evidence was released, the entire internet exploded. Trending topics began popping up one by one. Shocking. The Wong family is full of villains. A monstrous fake young master is the Wong family's spoiled pet. A perverted maniac even harassing his sisters. The true young master's life was worse than a dog. Oh my God, the wealthy Wong family is being played by scumbags and pretentious fakes. The internet was filled with criticism. This is terrifying. The true young master almost got beaten to death. Can there really be such heartless family members? Ugh, George is so pitiful. He suffered such inhuman abuse from his entire family. Oh my God, this isn't domestic violence. This is deliberate harm. Where are the police? Arrest them. Is anyone in the Wong family even thinking? How could they not see such obvious framing? Fuck, this fake young master is something else, even trying to hit on his sisters. And to be honest, those 2 sisters are really damn beautiful. Haha, the fake young master is trash. The evidence is solid. What do the Wong family have to say now? A bunch of idiots. They should all go to hell. Chapter 16. Inside the Wong family mansion, Alicia screamed, our Wong family is trending again. And the stock price dropped to the limit today. Pablo opened his phone and saw a flood of derogatory comments about the Wong family. He was trembling with rage. Unfilial son. This time, the Wong family's reputation is ruined. Mrs. Wong, not understanding what was going on, started yelling. I always said George was a bastard. I should have strangled him the moment he was born. Hearing these words, Sophia felt a cold chill in her heart. She finally realized that the Wong family truly was a bunch of blind and foolish people, including herself. Sophia didn't say anything but silently cast the online evidence onto the big screen. The surveillance video clearly showed Makoto sneaking in and out of his 2 sisters and George's rooms frequently, especially that line. As long as I, Makoto, want something, I always get it, including your 2 beautiful sisters. They can't escape my grasp. These pieces of evidence hit the Wong family like a sledgehammer, striking deep into their hearts. It turned out that the mistakes their biological son had made were actually all part of Makoto's scheming and framing. I had tried to explain countless times, but no one ever believed me. Even on the day of the severance agreement, I reminded them to check the surveillance, but the entire family still chose to blindly trust Makoto. Yesterday, when Makoto drugged Maria, the evidence was irrefutable. Even the police were almost certain of Makoto's crime, yet they still believed Makoto was innocent. What had they been doing all these years? Endlessly insulting and beating me, pushing their own biological son deeper and deeper into the abyss. How much pain had I endured in these years? At that moment, every member of the Wong family felt a deep, suffocating sensation and regret. They couldn't accept the fact that they had been completely manipulated by a liar. They couldn't accept that the adopted son they had raised and loved for 20 years was actually a scumbag. Mrs. Wong suddenly stood up, hysterically screaming, "Fake! All of this was fabricated by that bastard George. Makoto is so well-behaved. How could he do something like this?" "Enough!" Sophia suddenly exploded, shouting loudly, "Dad! Mom! How long are you going to deceive yourselves? These surveillance videos were recorded by our own home security system. The timestamps and angles are crystal clear. How much longer are we going to be in denial? We owe George an apology. I don't deserve to be his sister." With that, her tears began to fall. Sophia's soul-searching questions pierced everyone's hearts, sending a sharp sting through the room. The Wong family mansion fell into a deathly silence. For a long time, no one spoke. Alicia sat motionless on the sofa, her face pale, suddenly pulling at her hair in a manic frenzy. "Hey, yes, I don't deserve to be George's sister. Now that I think about it, when George came back and pushed Makoto down the stairs on the first day, it must have been Makoto's scheme. I personally locked him in the basement to teach him a lesson. 3 days and 3 nights. He almost died." Pablo collapsed to the floor, smoking one cigarette after another. He looked like his energy had been drained, and in an instant, he aged more than a decade. Turns out, every time he was hurt, he was taking the fall for Makoto. Mrs. Wong murmured to herself. She finally remembered the hard months of carrying George. She recalled the countless sleepless nights after George went missing. George was her biological son. She suddenly let out a heart-wrenching scream. "George, I'm sorry. My eyes were blind." She stumbled towards the entrance, her high heels nowhere to be found. "I have to find George. I need to bring him back now." Chapter 17. The Wong family's fake and real young master scandal continued to escalate. The Wong family was blasted all over the internet, suffering an unprecedented wave of cyberbullying. When they walked on the streets, everyone looked at them with disdain and unmasked malice. Strangers would even throw rotten vegetable leaves and rotten eggs at them. Every day, strangers called, telling them to go die. Mrs. Wong discovered that I had blocked all their phone numbers. She went out a few times to look for me, but couldn't find me. She gradually stopped going out, curling up on the sofa all day, desperately covering her ears. Her phone constantly received texts calling her a murderer and saying she didn't deserve to be a mother. Alicia, who had been a teacher at a prestigious primary school, was subtly urged to leave by the school due to the negative impact. The company's stocks were plummeting every day. Previously agreed-upon collaboration projects all fell through when it came time to sign. Even some of the old business partners, worried about the negative effects, refused to renew their contracts. The Wong family's business was collapsing, teetering on the edge of destruction. Of course, Willow wouldn't miss the chance to kick a dog when it's down. The Liu Group frequently moved to poach what little projects the Wong family had left. The Wong family's situation became even more dire. For the past month, I took a break from school and focused on my writing. Rebirth, unsurprisingly, became a huge hit, shooting to the top of the bestseller list in a short time and being read by millions. What delighted me even more was that because of the fake and real young master scandal, my social media following grew by nearly 1 million. It seemed like being an internet celebrity might be a good career after all. If I keep uploading some classic songs from Wish World, I'd probably go viral, right? As for Maria, I gave her a sum of money and instructed her to never appear in my sight again. The Wong family initially bombarded me with calls and apology messages. I was annoyed, so I blocked them all. Willow, concerned they might come after me, specifically strengthened the security at the villa. But a month later, the Wong family still managed to find my place. They were crying and begging me for forgiveness. They kneeled and begged me to return to the Wong family. I had the bodyguards throw them out immediately. They still showed up every few days, but I never saw them. Their late-found love wasn't worth my time. I didn't even bother to argue with them. Under the deliberate suppression by the Liu family, the Wong family eventually went bankrupt. It's said that after the bankruptcy, the Wong family members had a very hard time. Definitely good news. Makoto was completely abandoned by the Wong family. The police uncovered all the times he drugged and assaulted other women. Makoto was sentenced to 16 years in prison. Of course, I had to visit my dear stupid little brother. When he saw me, there was a hint of sickly satisfaction in his eyes. Brother, do you think you won? I slept with your favorite woman. You must hate me, right? Huh. I suddenly understood. Although he was in prison, there would be a health check, but HIV wouldn't show up so quickly. This guy was still in the dark. I looked at him with pity, a smile curling at the corner of my mouth. Idiot, the fact that Maria has HIV isn't just a rumor. It's true. Makoto was stunned, then went crazy, repeatedly slamming his hands against the reinforced glass. You're lying to me, aren't you? You think I'll believe anything you say? Ah, George, this is all your scheme, isn't it? George, you won't have a good death. Really? 16 years, and you got HIV, my dear stupid little brother. You're destined to rot in here while my brilliant life is just beginning. Goodbye, imbecile. Makoto's face twisted as he roared in madness, but was quickly dragged away. I saw the prison guard already pulling out the taser.